Okay, welcome back and welcome to our first guest episode, which we wouldn't do with anyone other than our good friend Jacob Cooper, who, when we started this podcast, sent me a 2-minute voice memo about the Jets, probably off of some quarterback thing I sent him. Jacob is also he's a former middle school coach. You can't be the first guest without being a middle school coach. And notably, he's the only person in our fantasy league who's missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. So cheers to Jacob.
2 for 2. Cheers, guys.
Only up from here.
Only up.
Only up. Hey, I said
Welcome
that last
in.
year, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Jacob.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm
I
excited
could do
to have you mainly because there ain't a lot of reason to talk about the Jets. So it's nice to get some New York, some New York
Listen.
teams. You don't hear a
Listen.
lot of shows talking Jets. So it's gonna be a great episode. You can get your fix here if you're one of our local New York listeners.
This is for the true fans, okay? This is for my real fans, my day ones, the loyal listeners. Anyone who's a real Jet fan, they're gonna listen to this. They're gonna know.
That's
All right,
true.
well, I want to get us warmed up. I'm just going to throw you. I got a little list here. I got 10 quarterbacks. Might be 11. I got a bonus in there for you. I'm going to throw you the name. I want your just quick instant reactions. Quick instant reaction to if this was the Jets' next quarterback. And then at the end, I'm curious if there's a name you got in your head that is not on this list.
Okay.
But don't overthink it. How about Justin Fields?
Absolutely not.
All right, you're out. Fully out. We're moving on. I mean, that's
out.
what I
I'm out.
started
Move
with.
on.
I figured, yes.
Move on.
100% agree.
Yep. That's cute, but move on.
All
Move
right,
on.
few old names on the list. Your boy Joe Flacco. Bridge you.
Oh gosh. God, it's like the old dog at the pound, you know? You want to bring him home for Christmas, but you can't bring an old dog around anymore. It's a new home. It's going to be a mess. He's going to pee all over the carpet. You don't want the old dog. I'm out on Flacco.
Wow.
I tend to agree.
not
I'm
Flacco.
with you.
He can still sling it, boys.
Yeah. How about Geno Smith? Keep it moving.
Nuh-uh. Keep it moving. Stay in Oakland. Stay West Coast. I actually wouldn't hate Geno as like a backup option, like a Tyrod Taylor equivalent. But if Geno is starting quarterback week 1, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah. All right, those are your 3 freebies. Nothing, easy money.
okay.
Here's where it
Those are the
starts to
easy
get a
ones.
little, I think there'll be some conversation here. Starting. How about Mac Jones? Old AFC Easter.
Ooh, don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't know what's on this list, so I'm not gonna go ahead and say yes to Mac. But I'm gonna say he's intriguing. I'd have
Okay.
a first date with him. That's what I'll say about Mac Jones.
Now you would need a trade for him, I think. He's not a
You
free
have to.
agent.
That's
Yes.
and this we do, and this is where I'm like, I'm gonna say I'd have a first date with him. I'd have a little conversation, but I'm gonna say no on Mac Jones.
All right.
If
Kyler
he was a
Murray.
free agent, different story. Kyler, absolutely not. And here's why.
Okay.
The baggage of Kyler Murray. First of all, he's like my height, okay? And I'm all 5 nothing. I don't want it.
Short
He's
king.
not gonna fit our system. Mm-mm.
What
He can
is
be a
your
short king
system?
somewhere else, not in New York.
Yeah, wait, what system?
What's this?
We're gonna get into that, okay? Don't worry about the system yet. That's not for your concern, okay?
Okay.
No, I'm anti-Murray. He's too expensive, dude. His contract's huge. I'm not paying him.
Fair enough. Tua. AFC East, baby. He knows the system.
He's one head injury away from
Yeah.
from being a vegetable. I can't go Tua, man. Tua feels if we can get is Tua is he a free agent?
No, he's got one more year. And it's an expensive year.
Okay.
Yeah, and they can't cut him, right? It's too much of a hit.
Yeah, they can't cut him. We'll
I-
get into that, but it's expensive.
He's not going to see a
I
first
would-
rep snap, though,
I
I
would
don't think.
I would take Tua for like a 6th or 7th round pick. And if the Dolphins cover a portion of his salary, he's not a bad bridge quarterback for a year. That's my Tua take.
Okay. Don't hate Tua. AR, Anthony Richardson. Unproven. Haven't even seen him.
Unproven. For Anthony Richardson, I'm just kind of like,
A lot of upside.
Why? Is there? Is there? Is there really? Like,
Yeah,
are we? Is anybody really into Anthony Richardson right now? I think Anthony Richardson is exciting for somebody like Las Vegas to have him start over Fernando for the first 6 weeks and see if anything happens. But I don't see him. I don't want him he's not our guy. He's not that guy. He's just not that guy.
I'm with him. I wouldn't be excited about
Fair.
that. Daniel Jones.
Times, man. Yeah, he's even healthy.
We'll see.
Can he even
It's
play this
Achilles,
year?
right?
I mean,
not ACL. It's Achilles. So
yeah.
2-year injury.
Listen, I'm.
It wasn't
I'm
it like
scarred
week
from
9
Achilles
though or
injuries.
something?
I'm
Pretty
scarred
early.
from Achilles injuries,
Yeah.
as you guys can understand. We're
Yeah.
anti-Achilles in this household. So, sorry, Danny.
All right. Kirk Cousins.
I like Uncle Kirk. I do. I like him.
Hey, if it was
For a
anything,
year?
yeah.
For a year, locker
was-
room guy, good attitude. I mean, what?
Great leader.
I don't know. Great leader.
He's a
I don't
great
mind
pocket
that.
passer. I mean, he can still sling
He can
it.
sling it. He can sling it. If we re-sign Brees and have a decent run game, who says no to Kirk Cousins for a year? Kirk knows he's not around for 3 more years, right? He's got 1-2 good years left in him. Why
Does
not?
he?
Yeah,
Does
I'm
he,
okay with
though?
Kirk.
Yeah, okay. If it's anything like the Aaron Rodgers experiment, you guys will be fine.
I like
Hey,
that because
you guys promised we wouldn't talk about that. I thought that was in our contract.
That's in
We're
the
not talking
contract.
Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers.
sorry.
no,
Yeah, that's in
I
the
like
contract.
Cousins for you, Jacob, because I think that Achilles is a 2-year injury. So I think he sucked post Achilles in a way that is not him.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, I'd
That's
agree with
fair.
that.
That's possible. All right, down to the last 2 here, and I won't give my opinion. Malik Willis.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. I want him. I think that's my guy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's who I want.
That's
on
your
a
guy.
2-year
Now, is he
deal.
free? Actually, I don't know. Is he a free agent or is that a
Yes.
sign?
Yes,
Yes.
he's a free
Okay.
agent.
Okay.
But he's gonna have some suitors. The Jets are gonna have to give him a pretty nice little contract to convince him to come over. And I don't know if it's worth it. We still got to pay Aaron Rodgers $28 million this year. We still got to pay Justin Fields $15 million this year. I mean, we have a lot of dead money in quarterbacks. We're not going to be great, and we can get into this later. But if Malik Willis is too expensive, if some team offers him $10 million a year, I don't want to pay him that. $6, $7, $8 million, we can talk. But upwards of 10, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think he's
I think with the need out there, he's over a $10 million quarterback. Pretty easily.
I think he's overvalued because of LaFleur. I think LaFleur gives everyone a huge floor. I don't think he's going to play like that anywhere else.
That's fair. Totally. All right.
I would love him, but yeah.
Final option. Ty Simpson, Alabama. Reset. New regime. Hand him the keys to the city.
Fuck the tie.
This
but-
is tough. Here's my thing. We can get into this bigger later. I just, with where we would have to draft him. Okay, my short answer is yes, but my long answer is no. Because we would have to take him at 16, and I don't want to take him at 16. But if Ty Simpson's there, end of day 2,
He's not going to
a
be.
3rd round pick, I know he's not. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if he was, absolutely. But I don't. He's not worth a 1st round pick for me. Not at this point. Not with the holes that we have.
My counter to that is just like, what is the point of doing anything else until you have your quarterback in a lot of ways? Like, who are you going to take? A defensive guy? Try to get one
Absolutely.
interception next year?
Absolutely.
Like,
Right.
yeah, I guess. But it's like, you
just wanna see
can't
an
build until you
interception.
have the guy. So I love throwing the dart, even if it is pick 16.
With
Maybe
the Colts
he is
pick.
But
Kenny Pickett, or maybe it's
It is
that
the
bad,
Colts
or
pick.
he's Mac Jones, and it's
Yeah.
not. But
the argument though is if you're looking at this as a 2-year plan, right? Because we talk about 2 1st round picks this year, 3 1st round pick next year. If you're talking about a 2-year plan, is Ty Simpson your guy while you have 5 1st round picks? I think it's 8 in the first 2 or 3 rounds in the next 2 years. Like, is he the guy? Because if you draft him this year, you're saying no matter virtually, unless he's an absolute disaster class, we're going to stick with him next year. And out of that great quarterback class, we're not going to take somebody. So if the Jets are going to take him, it's gonna have to be because they are sure and confident that he is that guy, and they are willing to bet that he's going to be that guy. Because what we haven't said is whoever the Jets pick at quarterback isn't only responsible for the Jets season. It's responsible for Aaron Glenn's job, Frank Reich's job, Aaron Muji's job. Like, all those guys, whoever they play at quarterback, they have to pick someone who's going to help them survive more than just a season.
No, I hear that. I got 2 things about that, though. You got 2 1st-round picks. Like, take Arvell Reese at 2 or wherever you're at, and then
For sure.
take a quarterback, throw a dart, and, like, sign a Kirk Cousins as the starter and, like, fill him in later. I don't know. I'm not super high on Ty Simpson. I did watch him, like, crush Georgia. That was probably his best game of the year. but he's still a quarterback, which is a more valuable position than any other position.
Yeah, that gives me one follow-up question. Is there another name in the draft that is more likely at day 3 or something you're like want to throw a dart at? You really don't know. It's a weak class. Yeah. No one's projecting
honest,
anyone.
There could be. It's not a strong class. I honestly I haven't looked too close in the draft class yet, just because I can't just get caught up in this draft talk already. Even though we're like 6 weeks away, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Less than. But no, I don't know. I really think the Jets' best option is getting a bridge guy. I think I love Kirk Cousins because he is a great bridge guy. If the Jets somehow draft decently well and say Aaron Glenn calling defensive plays really kind of changes the defense and actually has them playing decent football, and that offense starts to have a decent system, and they re-sign Brees and the O-line stays healthy, who says no to a 7-win season with Kirk Cousins? Now you got 3 first-round pick next year. Your coaches have shown improvement. I know. Set 3 to 7 wins is a big deal.
Mediocrity is like the death of you. Like that's.
But look at
you'd
the
rather
Steelers.
be bad. Yeah.
But this is my thing. It's like, so then what are we doing? Are we going to punt this year and try to get first overall again next year? Or are we going to try to show improvement and actually try to build something, right?
I'd say successfully punt. Like, you could have Mendoza if you successfully punted. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but then let's look at the statistic. My favorite statistic is like how many top 5 quarterbacks have led their team to the Super Bowl in the last 20 years? 0.
Oh, yeah,
Any
Mahomes
quarterback
was
that's
10.
been drafted in the top 5. Darnold was number 3, but he didn't.
What about
lead the
Drake
Jets.
Maye?
Like any.
Didn't win it? You mean Super
What was
Bowl
he
wins or go to it? He was 3.
Sorry, wins. Probably wins. It was probably wins.
Okay,
I saw
It
this,
was
Jacob.
wins,
It's
that's what I saw.
wins.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
it's
no
like,
one
if
has
that-
any wins except Mahomes. It's like,
Right.
Yeah.
But so this is the thing, though. It's like Josh Allen was picked, what, 6th, 5th,
7.
7th? Something like that? Something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
all these, like, I think it's proven that you don't have to have the number 1 pick and the best quarterback in the class to be successful. I do think this year it's Mendoza or bust in terms of quarterbacks.
yeah.
But next year, like if we win 6 or 7 games next year with 3 first-round picks, who knows what the Colts are going to be? We have their pick. Yeah, thank you. Who knows what the Colts are going to be? They could be
Bad.
a top 10 pick. We could be another. Like if we have 2 picks in the top 13 next year, that's an unbelievable position to be in. And I think you get a great quarterback.
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
I just don't know if a savior is coming. I think NIL is just going to keep weakening the classes. Like this year was supposed to be a good class. Now we're saying next year's supposed to be a good class. Like, is NIL just like changing the draft classes?
It could be.
Yeah.
It might be. But
Arch Manning
I,
gonna change the
yeah.
league one day, 6 years from now.
yeah, when he's 28 and decides to finally leave school
Yeah.
after his 8th year of eligibility.
Well,
Oh God. Anyway.
thanks for playing that game with us. The real reason we have you here is we're starting our division series where we're asking some off-season questions to every team in the division. I'm going to kick us off with the Dolphins, and I'm going to keep it quick because who the fuck cares? My first one, I really only have 2. The first one's a 2-parter. What's the quarterback situation? And since you have to deal with Tua's cap, do you just play him this year and like be fine with it? That's my first question. And
No.
No? And my second question is, are you putting anyone on the trade market? Because there was a lot of Waddle and Achane rumors at the trade deadline, and then those all went away. So what's your rebuild plan is essentially the question. So as AFC Easter fans, any thoughts for the Dolphins before we get to interesting teams and the Jets?
I mean, I'm always pro don't build until you got your quarterback. Like, I do think if you think Waddle is selling tickets, you want to stay somewhat relevant, maybe. I don't know. I think you punt. I hate mediocrity. I think there's a lot of talk right now in the NBA about
Yeah.
making teams not being able to tank, a lot of anti-tanking. Like, if you don't have a quarterback that's capable of winning a playoff game, even starters, or getting there, like, I don't think you should be paying star players anywhere, really. And you look at the success of the Patriots, who had the smallest financial, like, 2024, we were paid nobody. We didn't have a name on the team we liked. Fans were pissed. It sucked. But then, all of a sudden, you have the ability to spend $300 million in one single offseason and get your guy. Like, I think you do to go from really bad to really great, you have to get to really bad. I don't think there's a method to get there without. So I would trade them.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got a new head coach, right? and Jeff Hafley. They have a new GM, John Eric Sullivan. I think those guys are going to want to make an impression, and those guys are going to want to implement their style of play, their culture, whatever they're going to do. I think they're going to clear house. I could see the Dolphins being the worst team in the league this year. I could see them being a team. I could see them signing Geno Smith for $5 million, and I could see him saying, "We're going to put out a quarterback who knows how to play the game and has been in the league. We're not expecting wins. We're getting rid of Tyreek Hill. Tua, you're going to sit. You're going to play for 3 weeks, but the second you're bad, I'm putting Geno in. And we're going to clear house, and we're going to do a proper rebuild." That, for me, would be the best option for the Dolphins. You just clear house, sit on this year, dead money, pay a vet quarterback as close to a minimum as you can get. You try to essentially you do what the Jets kind of did this year but kind of failed at, which is take on undrafted free agents, punt or take a gamble on some late round picks and see if you uncover any gems. Like, really just try to develop some of these young guys, see if you can uncover a gem or two, and really look forward towards building properly in 2027.
Yeah, no, I like all of that, and I think that's our Dolphins content for the year. So
let's never talk about them again.
That's everything for the
Sell
Dolphins.
everything.
I will say, by the way, the Dolphins, $100 million cap hit this year.
Oof.
So, and I think they have like a top 5 most difficult schedule in the league. So
I had a few division exact parlays last year. I had one that was like Bills, Pats, Jets, Dolphins. Like, honestly, I think Dolphins are last. Well, let's move on to some more relevant AFC East teams. Cole, we're going to start with your Patriots. What are a few questions you guys are addressing this offseason after getting smoked in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we did get smoked. It is tough to try to improve on a 17-win season, but
here we go.
I got some ideas for us. Start somewhere.
That was
18 wins, baby. Yeah.
You know what it was? Can I just say, hate watching the Patriots has been just my favorite pastime.
Yes. I would expect nothing
I love it more and more
less.
every year, and it was just, it's my Super Bowl is watching you guys lose. That's the best part of my year.
What I told Emma is, it is great to be hated again. It's been 6 years. I have missed it,
Welcome to the club.
You deserve it.
And we deserve it, so bring it on, All right, I'm starting with our edge rush. Cleveon Chason is our current edge. He's not a true edge, really, and he had 7.5 sacks for us this year. He's a free agent now. I don't want to pay him a ton of money. I want to go a different direction. Ideally, free agents. The question is, what do we do at edge? So this is my... Trey Hendrickson is a free agent, but he's 31. He played like 4 games this season. He wants a lot of money because he's been with Cincy for so long and made not what he's supposed to. And then Max Crosby, I think, is the obvious answer. A lot of rumors. We're in the middle of a rebuild. We have the 10th most cap space available in all of football, 13 draft picks, the single most out of any team in football. Like, we can get a trade done pretty easily. I think he's our guy. I'll be the most happy this offseason with any move if it's Max Crosby. Thoughts?
Now, my question is, what do you draft a first? Do you think Max Crosby is your answer, or do you gamble and take your first round draft pick as a pass rush? Because you also need O-line help. I think you do, and we can talk about that later. But is D end your? Because how much cap space do you have? Like 40-something million, give or take. Max.
I forget
Crosby's
the exact number. 60-ish, I think. Yeah.
What? Max Crosby is going to cost you what? A third of that? I guess my question to you is like, what other holes do you have?
Probably more.
Yeah, if not more.
But that's currently, like, there are some guys we can cut and free up space. I do think, like, moves get made where we end up with closer to probably, like, 80-ish, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think the pass rush needs help. I just wonder how many holes, because you're right, you still are in a bit of a rebuild, right? Like, this year was a fluke, not in the sense that, like, Drake Maye is not going to be good or you guys aren't going to be
we were
good,
ahead of
but, like,
schedule,
you were better than you were supposed to be. And you might not get there again next year. But if you're trying to get to this point where you're always in this conversation, what are you doing? Like, what other holes are you going to fill? Because if you just stack your pass rush, but your O-line is still Swiss cheese and your secondary needs help outside of Gonzalez, like, what did that really solve, right?
That's fair. So that brings me to another one of my questions, right? O-line depth and help. You might think we need a lot. We're the first team in NFL history to have 2 rookies starting on our line in the Super Bowl. No one's ever got there
And
with
they
that.
and
it showed.
they put on their uniforms that day. That's about all they did. But
Yeah, absolutely. And with a torn ligament in his knee, yeah, I agree. It's hard.
I hate injury talk. It's football. I really don't want to hear the injury talk, but keep going.
That's fine. I just think I'm not concerned with the left side of our line. I don't think there's anything realistically we can do to help it this offseason. I think we have 2 rookies who are going to get healthy and improve, and who were really quite amazing through the first 12 weeks of the season in their rookie year. So, I think that's fine. I'm nervous about our right side of the line, which is far older. I don't know if Morgan Moses is even coming back this year. He's 35 this year. He was a great leader on our line and really, that's why the focus was on the left side, because we had that right side buttoned up, but, we don't have him moving forward. So how do we get a right tackle is a concern. But, I don't think, it's maybe unfortunate, we'll see, but, I think we trust our guys on the left side line that are rookies and roll the dice with fixing the right side.
Would you move over? Not Will Campbell, but your left guard. Who's your left guard?
Jared Wilson from Georgia.
He's from Georgia, but he used to play center. He learned to play guard this year.
So he could play center.
He could play a center or right guard.
Yeah.
That's true. We have Owenu, who is
options there.
Yeah. I agree. I think O-line depth. I looked at the free agents. It's there's the one center from the Colts or somebody who's really good. There is not a lot of free agent. There's no Tooney in the market this year. There's no
let's be honest, right? O-line depth, the free agent O-line market is you're hoping for a backup who can plug and play if you need him. You really need to draft and get
draft
really
a right
lucky
tackle
on your O-lines. But so this is my thing is okay, if you're going to draft a tackle and sign a defensive end, say you get Max Crosby, is that enough, do you think, for the Patriots to start to become relevant again?
Yeah, I do. I think our O-line, Drake Maye is capable of winning 17 games with that O-line and going through the hardest defensive schedule in the history of the league, in the playoffs.
But
he's capable of it. It wasn't pretty. He took the most sacks, the most fumbles. I hated watching most of it, but we won 3 of those games against top 5 defenses. If those rookies improve, I'm worried if we face Seattle again, obviously, or whoever the juggernaut defense is, but every other team, I think we'll be okay.
You're going from the easiest schedule in the last 30 years to a top 5 hard schedule in the league. I do worry about that for the win inflation and the line. The pass rushers you're going to get, it's just going to be harder.
That's fair. We faced some of the harder. We faced Myles Garrett. He was one of the bad teams we beat. The Falcons defensive line was one of the awful teams we beat. We actually faced fine defenses. The strength of our defense was average 19th that we played, and Stafford's was 15th.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I just think there is
trouncing on Stafford
we played
again.
Really
just
bad
Stafford
offenses. we played really bad offenses all year. I'm really not. I don't think the defenses we see will be really any harder than what we had this year.
But let me explain time of possession to you and why that matters.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I agree. But I think they'll be improved. I don't know. Line I see as being if anyone would be man, you got to fix your line. We spent those dollars last year and capital in the draft last year, and now they're going to develop. Now they're year 2. We have no rookies on our line, so I'm fine with that. But I do agree. We'll see. I'd prefer edge over that though.
Next.
Next we got the keeping Diggs situation, which is kind of 2. It's adding elite receivers, and do we keep Diggs? So Diggs is a $26.5 million cap hit to us this year. If we cut him before June 1st, we save about $20 million on the cap. Now Diggs,
I think that's a no-brainer.
Cut.
I think it's a no-brainer. I agree. He's too expensive at that price, but I don't really believe in addition by subtraction with him. If we cut him, it is a requirement to land. Not draft, land a veteran elite receiver in the league, which could be George Pickens, could be A.J. Brown, could be Justin Jefferson via trade, or T. Higgins via trade. But one of those 4 guys I think would need to be required if we're cutting Diggs.
Well, I guess my question to you is what are you guys doing for your wide receiver room outside of the Diggs situation? Because to be honest, Kendrick Bourne showed signs, but is he really a true number 2? Who do you guys have? This is where the Jets have the same issue, and a lot of teams do, where it's you have a clear number 1, or if you get rid of Diggs and bring in another clear number 1, call it A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, fine. That's great. And then what? When they get double-teamed, when they're up against the top corner and they're not having the day, then what? Who else do you have in that room?
Totally. I mean, we have Demario Douglas, Mac Hollins, Kyle
Kayshawn.
Williams was our rookie. Kayshawn Booty is close to our one. I mean, yeah, like May spreads it out, but I think we
Sure.
require, if you have just like a group of guys like that, where like the average fan probably doesn't know the names of our receivers really ever. Like, I mean, Booty is like our star besides Diggs, and it's like,
And
who
I'll
knows
say,
Kayshawn
I'll
Booty?
say,
Yeah,
I'll get. This is where
I
I'll
agree.
give you a little credit here too, though. You have Mike Vrabel, and his offense was phenomenal this year. And Drake May showed that he can play. Does he do it again? That's another conversation. But let's say he does. The argument is if you stack your defense like Seattle did this year, and you put this unbelievable defensive line, and you fill the gaps in your secondary, and all of a sudden your O line, you figure out the tackle situation. Say you draft someone, or Morgan Moses comes back, and now if we're looking at the Patriots going, their weakest position is wide receiver, but you got a bunch of like solid 2 and 3 guys who can just catch the ball, and Drake May plays at that level again.
That's
That's a team
fine.
that wins a Super Bowl. Like that's a fine
Yeah.
team. You can win with if you're like if wide receiver is your weakest position, as long as other positions are strong, as strong as some of the positions the Patriots have, you can win. It's not ideal, it's not sustainable, but if you're looking at this season in a nutshell, right? Who says no to clearing the cap space? You bring in a couple of these like mid-level guys, and then you kind of go from there and make it work. But I think that's the best play for you.
No, I couldn't agree more. I think it's way more important to fix the line and the defense. I bet neither one of you can name a wide receiver on the team when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in 2022. Like it was twos and threes.
I refuse to spend time thinking about the Chiefs.
I know,
in
but I'm
general.
just saying that if you say you got a top 5 quarterback, I don't care about wide receiver. Invest in protection, invest in defense, getting the ball back to your quarterback.
I mean, I agree. That's why, like,
don't know.
I want us to draft defense first. I don't want to do what the Bengals did and pay a bunch 2 receivers to like help their amazing quarterback. It's like, no, you're right. Drake May can. When we play the Jets, he throws 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers in 2 quarters. Like that's what it was. Like, yes, I agree, but I
Low-hanging
do
fruit.
think Diggs did a
Low-hanging
lot.
fruit.
The biggest. I mean, that was the only time I've seen Drake May in the flesh. So you know.
I know, and the
Not
Jets had
impressive.
how many picks this season? I bet their secondary was really good with a defensive coach, right? I bet it was hard to slice them up.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I agree. I think defense first, fix the line. But Diggs did made like the best plays of the season where like when we went into Buffalo and beat them week 4 on the road Sunday Night Football, like Diggs was the reason we won that game. As good as Drake was, like that was veteran presence. Like our biggest moments, it was Diggs. I don't want to lose that and not replace it with like at least a name that's scary for the defense to hear. Like I do think we need
I mean,
someone who's a one-ish.
my final thoughts on this are like wide receivers can help win you games, absolutely, and it can be the difference between a 16-win season and a 13-win season, 14-win season. But if you get to the playoffs, you can win a Super Bowl with a mediocre or slightly above average wide receiving core. You don't need to have these big names. Will they help you get from 8, 9, 10 wins to 13, 14 wins? Absolutely. But if you're already a playout team without them, adding them, while is a great luxury to have, it's not. I don't think it's necessary to winning a championship.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Um,
All right, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm good on the Pats.
well, enough Patriots
Thank God.
talk. Enough Patriots talk for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Oh wow, I just clapped right in front of the mic. Moving on to the Jets. This is the reason we have you here, Jacob. You're our AFC East guest. You're our first guest ever. So lay it on us. Give us all your Jets knowledge. Don't yawn, Cole. Be respectful.
Just kidding.
And
Be nice to me, Cole.
give us
I
some
need this.
Jets off-season concerns. I mean, we only got a few minutes, so I
Okay.
mean, don't like give them all because you
Yeah,
know.
right. Okay. We have a couple. The obvious here's what I'm gonna not do. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about the quarterback because
Yeah.
the quarterback is the big question, and we all know it's a big question. We could sit here and have a 3-hour podcast
Oh, yeah.
about what the Jets should do on quarterback.
Totally.
So here's what I'm gonna do instead. The Jets have 2 new play callers this year. On one hand, we have Aaron Glenn, head coach, who's gonna now take over defensive play calling duties, and we have Frank Reich, who is gonna come in and play and pretty much galvanize this offense. How do the Jets look now? 1, with a head coach calling plays, and 2, in this new Frank Reich era offense, which could be a one and done year. Like both of these guys are coming into this year knowing if the Jets don't play well and don't win 7 games, call it, they're probably out of a job. So what does a Jets offense and defense look like under these new play callers?
Do you like the OC? You like Frank?
I love Frank. Here's
Okay.
my thing with Frank, though. Frank's offenses are designed around big body quarterbacks. It's a reason I don't want Kyler Murray, because you look at what happened in his year at Carolina with Brees Young. Brees Young has shown he's a decent guy, and I know it was his rookie year, but he was not playing well in that system. If you look at quarterbacks Frank has worked with before, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, we're talking Andrew Luck,
Big boys.
Nick Foles, Matt Ryan. Like, these are big, tall pocket passers, gunslingers. That's what we're looking for. And if we get a quarterback in that archetype, I think in a Frank Reich offense, it works. If we re-sign Brees, if you have Garrett Wilson coming back healthy, say we draft a quarterback or a wide receiver at 16, you're talking about a great 1-2 punch. I think there's room there. If you say, yep, you put Kirk Cousins, let's for argument's
Yeah.
sake say we go with Kirk. You draft a young top 3 wide receiver at 16. You draft you bring back an O-line that, by the way, the one golden whatever you want to call it, highlight of the Jets season, healthy O-line that stayed consistent. 5 starters for every single game last year in the
That's
O-line.
crazy.
That's impressive. I mean, that's an impressive stat. And that was after losing our starting right guard, Elijah Vera Tucker. So if you bring back a healthy O-line, you bring back Garrett Wilson, you re-sign or you bring Brees Hall back on a deal, and you bring in Kirk Cousins, who says that offense can't do something with 6 or 7 games?
No, I hear that, but
Go ahead,
Cole
Cole.
thinks
I
that
feel
can't.
like
I
you
think
might
he's
have
saying he
thoughts.
thinks that it can't
I
do
do.
shit.
Yeah.
You think this might be one of your questions. You think Brees Hall is a Jet next year? And I don't think he's a Chief. I really don't. I think he's too expensive for us.
I don't think he's the Chief, but I do think. I mean, the Jets have options, right? They can franchise tag him, they can transition tag him. They're stupid not to at least try. They're not going to just let him walk.
But
That 100% is not happening.
A franchise tag is going to be more expensive than a running back contract.
So a franchise tag would cost about 14.5. I have it written down.
Okay.
A transition tag, which I really like, it's about 11.7 mil. What that allows them to do is they get to match any offer made for Brees Hall. So if someone offers Brees
like
Hall
that.
$10 million, and that's the best offer, and the Jets offer that, they get Brees Hall if they can match any deal that someone else makes. And if they don't want to match it, then he walks. But I think a transition tag is probably a smart play. If someone's willing to overpay for him, we're not going to overpay for Brees. He's great. I think he's a top 5 back in the league in a good system, but he's not worth. No running back is worth overpaying, in my opinion, right now. Not in the position that we're in. But if you can get Brees Hall back for $11 million,
I mean, if
Who
you
says
got
no?
Kirk Cousins with a good running back, I feel like his floor is 8 wins. I mean, he just always does 8 wins if he has a good running back. So I hear that. I just
you're
don't.
awfully quiet down there.
Who's
Yeah.
the face of the Jets right now? Brees Hall?
Not Sauce Gardner.
Not Sauce Gardner.
No, I know.
I would say Brees. No.
No,
I'd say
you still have
Brees,
Garrett Wilson, right?
Garrett Wilson's his face.
He's
I'd
on his
say
rookie
Garrett Wilson
contract
probably
still?
on top
Yeah.
of you guys.
Third
No,
or
Garrett
fourth?
re-signed with Sauce
Oh, yeah.
last year.
Okay.
So we got Garrett for a while. He's locked
So it's
up.
Garrett Wilson, yeah.
Garrett.
I agree. I don't think you guys need a... I like the transition tag. I think that could work, but Brees Hall is not your biggest concern. Like, I don't love paying $12 million for a running back if I don't have a
The biggest
quarterback.
question is going to be how we're calling plays, right? I mean, it's like, how does Frank Reich's offense look? And then how does Aaron Glenn, who was a first-time head coach last year, now in his second year as a head coach is going to go to calling plays again? Like, that's...
That was going to be my
just
question
2
for
years
you.
ago.
Do you like Aaron Glenn?
God, yeah, I do. I think
Okay.
people are really out on Aaron Glenn. Now, I'm saying, like, I think Aaron Glenn, there's been a lot of hate around Aaron Glenn. I don't think he deserves any of the hate or any of the ridicule quite yet. I think like you give with quarterbacks, like you give with players in this league, you got to give someone time. We can look back at year one and now hindsight 2020 magnify in all these mistakes and talk about he should have done this, and it's all hearsay at this point. I think you have to let this man now, who, by the way, loves this team and wants to be here. Okay, let me make that clear. That's not easy to find in the National Football League, to find guys who want to be in this situation, but he genuinely wants to be here. I think you get if he can come in and improve, again, I'm not expecting playoffs this year, but if he comes in and turns a 3-win team into a 7-win team this year, that's that's a like at that track, we're making the playoffs in 2 years. I'm not saying we're making the playoffs in 2 years, but like if that's the measure in which we're going by, that's a what 4 or 5 wins improvement. Like that's a huge gap and change in quality in just 1 year's time. I think you got to let him see the season out.
I agree with all of that, and I liked Aaron Glenn a lot at the Lions. He's a good culture guy. I don't mind the Bible study stuff. I feel like every team has some version of that. I think that got blown up.
Whatever.
And the only thing that makes me not like Aaron Glenn, do you remember the international game? That, like, botched end of half. Like, I felt like the time management stuff and the game management stuff was a little off. But people used to say that about Andy Reid before he got Mahomes. So maybe time management is more quarterback.
My thing is, like, if he makes those mistakes in year one, it's tisk, and you can't make those mistakes again.
Yeah.
And so let's see if he does. I mean, what happens this year when he in those situations if he handles it differently? And if he doesn't, then we're having a different conversation.
So you're
having me back next year to talk new head coaches. But,
yeah.
You know.
So that's my next question. You're the GM of the Jets. They lose the first 4 games?
Oof.
They lose the first 5 games? What is that runway?
I hear you.
Yeah, what is that runway?
Start thinking long term.
What if they go with the first 4 games, no interceptions?
For sure.
Like, yeah.
I don't care about the interceptions as much as I care about the losses.
I want to agree with you. I just think, like, that is an element of coaching, preparation, understanding moments where you can't anticipate. Like, what is expected of the receiver routes? Like, how do you have 0 if you're a defensive-minded head coach? Like, to me, interceptions and anticipation and, like, yeah, I don't know. That is a part of coaching. That's unbelievable to me.
Here's my thing, though, and this is, you have to look at the Jets season. After week 10, if you're looking at their secondary, it was undrafted free agents, like starting and covering in those positions. Once we got rid of Sauce, it was like we had, nobody left. And it was rough to watch. Brandon Stevens, who was our big free agent signing last year at cornerback, he was injured for half the year. Like, by the end of the season, that defense was not an NFL. It was barely a collegiate defense. The first 7 weeks of the season, absolutely. And I think you're right. If we're going into week 6 next year and the Jets are 0-6 or 1-5 and we still have 0 picks, that's a different conversation. But then that ties back to the mistakes the Jets have always made, which happened with Robert Saleh, is they're firing him after week 5. If you want to to present yourself in this league as a competent franchise and you continue to fire your coaches 5 weeks into a season, 6 weeks into a season, what message does that send out to offensive and defensive coordinators out in the league? What message does that send to Mike Tomlin, who might be sitting on his couch thinking about coming back to coaching in 2027? When in the offseason, now you're looking for a serious head coach who wants to take that job. So I think the smart thing to do, regardless of the record, regardless of play, would be to ride with Aaron Glenn all season. You just show loyalty. And if for nothing else, to then prove to the next guy that we are going to stick by you.
I mean, you'll get 2 wins against the Dolphins, that's for sure. I think that those are guaranteed. I'll let you get to your questions, but I will say, do you want Tomlin? Is that the goal?
Long term?
2027?
If Aaron Glenn this year shows no signs of improvement, and he is not, absolutely. I think that's a culture change.
Aaron Glenn is target brand Tomlin.
Right, but he also could turn out to be a great coach and actually have a great year this year.
That's fair. I loved him at the Lions.
I think he's great. If he has another year, the argument now is becoming if he has another year like he did this year, which he's not gonna. He's gonna be a better head coach, right? He's not. This is not an Adam Gase situation. Like he is such a competent person. You hear about the way people talk about him in the league. He is not going to have this decline this year. But let's say he stays about the same or just has a marginal uptick, then I think Tomlin is the way to go. I think Tomlin is what Aaron Glenn might get to in about 10 years.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
What other questions you got for the Jets as their GM, Jacob?
So, $80 million in cap space, and the world is our oyster in terms of where we want to go. My question now is, where do we splurge, right? If you're saying like the Jets are trying to rebuild and they're trying to maybe tank and we're trying to, you have to at least start putting some cornerstone pieces in, right? That means bringing in a 28-year-old linebacker for a 3-year deal. That means establishing your defensive edge and drafting, Reese at 2 at defensive edge. Where do we splurge? And if we say 80 million, where do we put 20 million on a player? What position are we going to say this is our guy who we're going to build around over these next 3 or 4 years? Do we sign a safety, a Kyle Hamilton type, where it's just like, we're going to build our defense around this guy?
I like that. I didn't realize y'all had that much cap space. I mean, my only thing about that is I don't care the player. I don't care the side of the ball under 30. If this is a 2-year rebuild, I don't want to sign anyone, maybe even under 29. Like, everyone, I want them young. So if I get a quarterback next year, they're there.
Exactly. I agree. I think you have to only sign, like, build it around it kind of guys, because save your cap space. You know what I mean? Like, one missed signing, all of a sudden, like, you cut that guy, and that's, even if it's just like 8 million lost dead cap next year, or like, you can't risk that before you have your guy. I agree. I like saving it, or just like cornerstone players that are young. But like, no, you don't. You're not interested in Max Crosby or anybody in that like next age group. It just doesn't make sense until even Trey Hendry. Like, there's no point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And I think this is where the Jets have to be smart, right? If there's someone out there that they love and they go, this is going to be this guy's going to be here for 3 or 4 years, then absolutely you spend the money. But again, we're still paying Aaron Rodgers $28 million this year. We are paying Justin Fields $15 million this year.
Is Fields your backup?
Those contracts, technically, he's our starter.
I was going to say, isn't he?
With the $15 million, he's on the roster. Like, he's
on the roster. It was
Did you save a bunch if you cut him before June or no?
Maybe 5 million. So we might cut him, and maybe that 15 goes to 10. I haven't looked quite at those numbers, but so next year you're clearing another 35 million in cap space just by having those 2 guys off contract. So if the guys aren't there this year, and this is where it's going to become tricky, and this is where my fears start to come in, right? Is like, because you have the pressure on these head coaches and these coaches now, where if you guys don't play well, you're out after this year. And also, if the guys aren't there, don't spend the money. Wait for next year. But it's really hard to convince coaches to not spend money when they might not even be there next year, right? So I'm hopeful, and for me, obviously, that's the GM job. I'm hopeful that if Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat and if he leaves, my hope is Darren Muji, our GM, his job is secure. Because at the very least, if he's going to replace Aaron Glenn as a coach, he needs to at least be there to then see this whole year as like a long-term 3-year plan. Because what I don't want to happen is Woody Johnson to come in next season and clear house again all the way at the top down to the bottom. Yeah. And now we're looking at a new GM, a new everything. If you're going to fire the head coach at the end of the year, I can live with that. But that GM, Darren Muji, needs to be there to draft next year.
I like all of that. Knowing you guys have that much in cap space and you have a defensive-minded head coach, I'll be shocked if you don't bring in 2 defensive players with that much money. I could see him bringing in a corner, a linebacker.
It's so funny you say that, because that ties in my next question of what do we do in the draft? 2 first-round picks. I think it's pretty much written in the stars that we're going edge rush at number 2.
I think Arvo Reese is like, I think he's a generational prospect. I think he's so good.
I love him.
I think he's really good.
The big question is, what do we do at 16? Do we go O-lineman at 16? Do we get splashy and draft a receiver next to Garrett Wilson to be there as a 1-2 punch over the next 3 years for whoever we draft next year? Do we go cornerback again? Do we draft a generational safety? Like, where do we go?
I don't think Caleb Downs will be there at that pick. I do think Jordan Tyson might be there, who's a great wide receiver, but I don't know if you need wide receiver. I like Mitchell. I think Jordan Tyson day 1 is probably just as good as Mitchell year 3. But this is a decent guard class, and it has a good amount of right tackles, not really left tackles. So right side and interior, which of course are the stuff no one needs. So I would say O-line with your second first-round pick.
I agree. Yeah, I like that. I think O-line. You got to develop O-line. So that's the one thing. Like, if you don't have a quarterback yet, I like getting young guys there, because then you can... Trenches. Then if you get your quarterback, all of a sudden your line's all in year 3 or something. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what y'all have been doing. Your past 2 first-round picks, like top 10 picks, have been O-line? Or
I mean, our 2 tackles are our left tackle's second year, right tackle was a rookie this year. We have
exactly
our center is still on our right guard is still on his rookie deal. Our left guard, like, Yeah, we have a young O line. I do love just getting another interior defensive lineman this year in that spot. I also don't hate helping out the secondary, or well, I think we go linebacker in free agency. So I say safety or cornerback at 16 if we're going to go the defensive route.
I like that. I like either a safety or corner, or if there's a really good guard available, take it. I like Mitchell more than most people, though. If you are out on Adonai Mitchell, I would say draft Jordan Tyson if he's there. I mean, if Jordan Tyson's there, he'll probably be the best player available, but...
I'm gonna drop a name for you guys, and I want you guys to remember. Alex Anzalone, linebacker from the Detroit Lions.
Oh, I know him.
Watch him as a name in free agency this year. Yeah. Anzalone, thank you. Watch him as a name in free agency. I think Aaron Glenn, that's his guy. I think he's going to bring him in to be Mike linebacker. I can see him being kind of that quarterback of the defense. And I can see us getting him on like a 3-year, $25 million deal and really kind of establishing a pillar in that defense for us.
Nice. If you draft a corner and get Anzalone and Aaron Glenn's calling his defense he called in Detroit, like, I love that because by the end of the season 2 years ago, they didn't even have any big name defenders, and Aaron Glenn was making the defense click. So I like that.
Dallas today said they're open to trading their first round pick. I like you guys, if it's possible, to flip one of them for a 2027 first rounder or something, like,
and going 4.
You know, if you can't get your quarterback, you didn't get Mendoza. Like, what if you could get 3 first rounders next year? Like, just upping your odds. Unless you are getting somebody who's good, who's young, that you love. I don't love spending valuable stuff when you have no chance at winning. You know what I mean?
I agree. What'd you say, Jacob?
We already have 3 first-round picks next year.
So you'd go 4.
You'd go to 4?
It would be 4.
Maybe
this
5.
Is where I'm like, do we need
How far
4?
can you push it? How far can you push it?
I think also
get 10 in 2030.
We are seeing this issue. And this is my one caveat I will say is we drafted in 2020, 2021. That draft class was Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson. And then we ran into the problem of having to pay all. We now are in this issue. We have to pay all these guys. And not all of them pan out all the way. And we know what happened with Sauce and Jermaine's had injury issues. But drafting 4 first-round picks is really fun for a few years. And then if you do a good job and they all hit, and then you have to pay them all. And that becomes an issue as well. So I don't love, like, while that's a great problem to have, I think, like, this team.
That makes sense.
If we're, like, again, in the position we're in, we are not in a position to go and win 1 game this year and try to get first overall next year because we have the 3 picks. So if we're trying to just get better this year and show improvement and show that these are not the same old Jets, like we are improving and getting better, then I think we keep both picks this year. And I think we have to draft a staple in either the offense or defense in that line or in that secondary to really kind of hold us down.
But what if there's one good quarterback? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like winning more games this year is a less chance of getting your quarterback next year. You know what I mean?
But again, we have 3. Like, I can't remember who the 3rd pick is, but it's our pick and Indianapolis's pick. And even if we win, if we have the 12th pick next year, that's still a good, like, and also worst case scenario, we have 3 first-round picks to trade up next year.
Yeah, that's true. You could turn 2 and you could get the first round pick.
It's like we can get creative. And if all of a sudden we run into this great issue of we were way too good this year and now we don't have that high of a pick, what an unbelievable problem to have. We don't have as many holes as we thought, and now we can afford to trade up and get one of these top guys. So this brings me to my last point, and we talked about it briefly. The biggest question in free agency for us this year is Breece Hall. If you guys were the Jets, here's my questions to you, GM Emma and GM Cole. Congratulations, you have been appointed as GM of the New York Jets.
Oh, it'll be a nice job for a year.
And your first order of business is deciding what to do with Breece Hall. Emma, take it away.
I trade him. Or, wait, I don't trade him. I let him go because he's a free agent. I mean... He's
restricted free agent.
I think I do the thing that you would do just to cover my bases of not the full franchise tag, the other tag you mentioned, just to cover my bases. Yeah. I like Braylon Allen. I drafted Braylon Allen in the last round of every fantasy league. I was convinced he would take over the starting role. I think Braylon Allen's really good. I think a running back is a quarterback's best friend, so I understand you want to have a good running back. But at the same time, if you don't have a quarterback for the future, I don't need Breece Hall. He's also, like, the history tells us he's got 2 or 3 more good years, and half of those years will be without a quarterback. So, running back, the cliff I think for me it's just the cliff and the combination of sucking. That it's like, I'm not paying him probably what he wants to be paid. I don't think he'll want the Saquon contract, but he'll be close to that because of the market.
He'll be top 5. I think he'll be around the $14 million range.
Which is a lot for a running back, so I would be fine, again, with the tag, seeing how it plays out. But, yeah, I just think the running back cliff is too much to bet on. I don't really trust any running back.
I'm the Jets GM. I am trying to lose games. Lose. Bye-bye. Walk away. I wish I was the GM 3 years ago. I could have traded you, but sorry. Like, we got nothing for you. It sucks. I want to lose. I'm trading him immediately. Or letting him go. Letting him walk. He'll help me win. That's not good. Can't get my quarterback if I'm winning games.
And just for sentiment's sake, congratulations, you're still the Jets GM. What's your quarterback option this year? What are you doing to quarterback this year?
I said this to Cole before you logged on. I'm doing everything I can to sign Kirk Cousins, and I'm drafting Ty Simpson because I think Kirk Cousins should be the starter for 2/3 of the year. Like, what they had planned for Drake Maye and whoever the fuck that was, Jacoby Brissett, but then Jacoby sucked so bad they had to let Drake play, and he got injured. But that's what I would do. I would sign Kirk Cousins, let him play for 2/3 of the year. You said it yourself, great locker room guy, great leader. He's very cerebral, which is probably what Ty Simpson needs. So I would do that. Let Ty develop under Kirk Cousins and shoot your shot with him.
I'm going Malik Willis. I think if I'm going to go a bridge route, I want a guy that has upside we haven't seen yet. Like, he's either going to be really good or I could be lose really bad with him. Like, maybe it is Matt LaFleur and I can suck and that would be awesome. Like, maybe I'll get my guy. I don't love a Kirk Cousins bridge or an old guy. Like, you did the Aaron Rodgers situation. Look where we are. Like, I think somebody young, hey, maybe Mac Jones could be like Sam Darnold. I don't hate that. Or like a young guy who's like, just hasn't really like, he had a defensive coordinator at his offensive coordinator with the Patriots. Like, maybe we haven't seen it all. Somebody who's young enough where they just haven't hit their full potential. I like that being my bridge. Not an old guy who's on the way out. No Flacco. No Kirk Cousins. I agree. I hate Kyler Murray. Like,
yeah. I just think Mac Jones, you might have to trade a 3rd-round pick for him. Like, Shanahan really values him.
Mac, that's fair,
I think Mac is going to be a little... I actually love Mac Jones in theory, and if he was a free agent, I'd say absolutely, but I think he's going to be too expensive. Fair. I also think I could see a Tennessee, Indianapolis. I could see a team taking a chance on him as a starter and kind of overpaying for him, a team that can afford to a little more. We're not in that position right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like mine with Kirk Cousins and Ty Simpson?
No, but
I think if you're going Ty, don't take Kirk. Go Ty.
I think Kirk has another year or two left in him, and it's really hard to convince Kirk Cousins to come in and say, we're gonna sign you with the idea that you're gonna get benched.
That's fair.
I just think his pride is. I think he's not quite. Obviously, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but it would have been like drafting a quarterback 1st round after signing Aaron Rodgers. And being like, hey, we know you're here, but like we're already looking towards the next guy.
Yeah.
And granted,
fair.
Kirk would be coming into a very different team than Aaron Rodgers was coming into. Like, that Jets team was ready to make a playoff push before he got hurt. So that's a very different situation. But I think if you bring in Kirk, you're saying that, like, you're riding with us. We're riding with you all season. This is your team. These are your boys.
I hear that. I like all that. That's probably the best Jets content anyone's going to get on the internet. So, I mean, I hope they find it.
And you know what? Probably more than enough. We don't need to talk about these boys anymore.
I'll wrap us up then with the Bills. I'm going to do rapid fire questions, and you guys just, since this isn't my team the way it is y'all's teams, just tell me anything that sticks out. Question 1. Did you just get worse at coach? And will this affect your defense? Question 2. Is your GM a problem? Question 3. This is not facts at all, how do you emotionally recover from how the team felt after that divisional round loss? Because I I've seen anyone cry in a Super Bowl loss as much as that team cried in their divisional round loss. Do you need a number one wide receiver, or should you prioritize defense? And lastly, if the hump isn't Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, what is the problem? Those are my Bills thoughts. Jacob.
Here are my answers to almost all of your questions. Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen. To answer your first question, did you get worse at head coach? Maybe, but you still have Josh Allen. And as long as you have someone who's relatively competent come in, Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the league. Period. Okay? I don't care what anybody says. He is the best quarterback in the league. We can talk about how he played. We can talk about stats and numbers. If I am drafting a team today, 2026, fresh start, everybody's a free agent. Josh Allen is the
God.
#1 in this league.
Yeah, okay.
We can talk about this later. We can talk about this later.
Let's talk about it now. Let's talk about it.
The reason I say that is, hold on, because the reason I say that is because Josh Allen, to tie
It's
back
not
to
that
that final
insane.
question of,
Yeah.
no, it's not, and here's why. But I'll give you my reason why, and we can talk about everything else in between. Your final question, how do you, the crying, or your second to last question, crying in the final round?
Yeah, it was rough. They were all upset. It wasn't just Josh.
It's because it's because those guys die for that man. That Josh Allen is a leader unlike any quarterback in the league is right now on that team. The way he gets these guys to show up and fight, and what he does for this Bills organization, this franchise, is not like any other player in this league. They will continue to get back to where they are because of him. They will continue to fail because of him, and they will continue to succeed because of him. It all rides on him. I don't love their GM. I don't know what they're going to do at head coach, but I will never count the Bills out as long as they have a healthy Josh Allen.
Wow, I mean,
I agree with that. I mean, count them out. No.
Yeah.
Never. But like truly reach their pinnacle of like Bills are for 20 years the Bills were just a joke to the Patriots. No, they were the Jets at this point. Like, you know what like we beat up on them just as much. 0 wins. Like, and then all of a sudden they got Josh Allen. And now and we sucked. Patriots sucked. Jets sucked. Dolphins almost good with Tua sucked. And they had 7 years of a Josh Allen. And here we are. And I just watched the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And I've never seen Josh there. It's like, I mean, that's the like, oh my God, unbelievable nightmare. Like, what if we don't get there? And that is starting to build. I agree. Like, Josh Allen, like, I agree. I think he's unbelievable. I think any year he is just as worthy out of any quarterback to be the favorite to win, MVP, get to the Super Bowl. Like, I still believe that, even though we haven't seen it and it is unproven. Like, I agree with you there. I do think Bills, it's like, man, 23-year-old Drake walked into your house on Sunday Night Football, knocked you off. The division was kind of wrapped up with like 6 weeks left of the season. Like, yeah, our schedule was super easy, but like, it's also probably the worst roster Drake may ever have around him. We were in the middle of a rebuild. Like, it is, I don't know, to lose that division by multiple games to a 23-year-old and just like, and now you have a first-time head coach. I'm worried for the Bills, is what I'll say.
It's classic Patriots.
Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots out of it, and I'm just saying, you know what my favorite number is? 4. You know how many times Josh Allen has lost to Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? 4. You know how many times he's won in the playoffs? 0 against Patrick Mahomes. I just think...
So I'm learning we just can't have a conversation about the Bills. That's fine, keep going.
But I still will say I think Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in the league, and I'm not, like, even without Super Bowl ring, like, I think he's the second best player in the league. But I do think they got worse at head coach. I do think the GM is a problem. I think they're gonna have a hard time recovering from the loss. And I think,
but
I don't know how to rank them.
Here's my question, real quick: Who's to say they are just equally as good at head coach? And the change in system, the change in personnel, the change in voice is exactly what this team needs.
I mean,
maybe McDermott unlocked all of this with Josh Allen, but what was missing was something over here. And now this new regime, this new head coach, unlocks like another side of him. And he might lose 1 or 2 things.
I do think that's possible.
I buy that.
If something else happens, that all of a sudden, like, I just think to say they got worse at head coach with the talent they have, specifically at quarterback, specifically with Josh Allen, like, unless you hire one of the middle schoolers that we coach to be the head coach of the Bills, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess
you're
I don't
gonna
know
be
the number,
fine.
but like how many rookie head coaches have won the Super Bowl? And like that's the expectation for the Bills.
I
Right.
It's a failure if they don't get to the Super Bowl at least. And then if they lose the Super Bowl, that'll be another like, man, we finally got to the AFC and then we still couldn't do it. Like
But
it'd
how
be
many
just as
rookie head
devastating.
coaches had how many rookie head coaches had a generational quarterback in their prime with a team that's
It's an
not-
unbelievable
with
job.
a solid
That's true.
team. Right, and you're talking about one or two hits defensively in the draft this year, and that Bills team is a juggernaut team.
Yeah.
I hear all of this. And let's wrap it up with a question I have for you guys. Each of you gets a minute. Who would you rather have next year? You know what? Next 2 years. Drake Maye or Josh Allen? Jacob, take it away. I'm giving you a minute on the clock. Convince me.
The audience knows our answers, but yeah.
Yeah, the
Convince
audience
me.
knows our answers, but this is a great answer. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? A couple of things. I think this conversation next year, I might have a different answer. But today, February 23rd, 2026, I'm going Josh Allen. It's closer than I'd like to admit, but it's still Josh Allen. He has the intangibles. If you want to look at numbers last year, they're pretty much comparable, right? I mean, we're talking Josh Maye had 71.5 completion percentage. Josh Allen was 69.3. Maye was 21-6 on touchdowns, interceptions. Josh Allen was 22-10. It's marginal for me. Where Josh Allen does make a difference on the field is rushing yards. Okay, I think he ran for like 150 more yards and like 10 more touchdowns than Drake Maye did. But again, what we talked about before and what Drake Maye does not have that Josh Allen has, you look at the guys in the locker rooms. You looked at Deion Dawkins crying after that loss. He wasn't crying because he lost. He was crying because of Josh Allen. Because those guys would die for that man. And anybody who can galvanize a team like that on any given Sunday, they are the favorites with that man at the helm. I'm taking Josh Allen, and it's not even close.
Oh,
Wow.
And that was perfect. A minute. Okay, Cole, you get a minute. Let's go.
Josh Allen has 7 years going into his 8th year. Is that right? I mean, what Drake has gone farther, been farther, done more. He's seen everything. To me, Drake walked in week 4, 23 years old, just knocked him off on Sunday Night Football in front of everybody. To me, it's Drake Maye, and it's like, yeah, maybe. I agree. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Drake Maye, I think, are going to win the next 10 AFC championships. Like, I do kind of think that maybe Joe can get one, maybe Lamar if he ever gets there. But, like, I agree I think it actually is close for the next 2 years. For the next 10 years, it's obviously not even close. But Drake was just better in every category. Maybe it was close in a lot of them and almost a wash. But, like, Drake was better everywhere. And Josh Allen was not in the MVP conversation this year. Not even close. Like, what Drake did with less is...
He finished third, Cole.
Okay, yeah, but it was a two-person conversation. He was not in the conversation. He won it last year. I mean, I love Josh Allen. It's hard to... I was rooting for Josh Allen before we had this breakthrough Drake Maye. Like, I've been a Josh Allen guy, but you cannot deny Drake Maye. He's like one of 3 quarterbacks in the league who's ever won 17 games. I like winning. And winning with some rookies and, like, I don't know.
I respect both your points, and I'm taking Josh Allen.
Hell yeah, let's go, Josh Allen. Wait,
Well-
before we wrap this up, I have a trivia question for you guys. And Emma, I know you want to get your point across, but here's my trivia. Ready? Since 2009, there have been 3 teams to make the AFC Championship. What are the 3 teams?
Chiefs, Pats, Jets. Let's go.
Let's keep that
That's
streak
fair.
going. Huh?
That's fair, yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
My fun fact.
No, I love that. Jacob, thanks for joining us today. We said on break that this was our favorite episode we've done so far. You were
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
This was a blast.
Cheers.
Nice having a
Oh,
guest. Yeah,
Cheers, boys. Bring it up.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. No,
Thanks.
seriously,
Go
Jacob.
Jets.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you listen in next time.